question. Was it nice to be away and have some time with the family this time of year?
Yeah, it's always great to spend a few days with friends and family and get to spend time with my wife and our daughters. So that was great. It was a great Christmas. Short. It was a pretty short break, but it was great. Yeah.
Even though it's not a lot of time, do you find, like, not just for yourself, but players from seasons past, it's good to have that time where you can get away from hockey?
Well, it's important. I mean, we look for moments in the schedule, those random times in the schedule that maybe we don't play on a Wednesday and you can give them a Monday off here or there. It's important, probably more mentally than physically. It's physically important for sure, but mentally even more so. I wish we could have given them one more day, just for the guys to have a day to breathe and again, mentally check out, see friends, see family, enjoy a little break. But we got the 3 days and we'll take it and be ready for tonight.
We didn't get a chance to speak with you following Saturday's win against Syracuse. Does it help to go into the break getting that win? Yeah,
it always feels better going into break on a win. It allows you probably to put it away easier. Sometimes as a player, certainly as a coach, when you go in on a loss, it can eat at you a little bit more, which then it's harder to have the mental break of the break. So it is good to go in on a win.
What did you make of the team's effort to get the 2 points?
I thought we played good. Syracuse is a really good team, tough building to play in. You're in the back end of a 3 and 4, so I think that we played in a similar manner that we've played the last 6 games now. We just found a way to get the result, where in some of the other games we hadn't got the result for one reason or another. So I don't think we played good. We weren't like, oh my God, good. We were good. We played good team defense again. That's 6 games in a row now that our team defensive effort, chances against, shots against are getting suppressed a little bit better. And I think that gave us a chance to win that game. We found a way to win it in overtime.
Ticker a little frustrated with how the game he played earlier in the week went. What did you think of him Saturday? He was
excellent on Saturday. He was disappointed in himself on Wednesday, and he's played a long time, and he's a winner for a reason. He doesn't need to be pointed out when he has a poor performance. He knows in that Wednesday game that we played in a manner that probably deserved to win, and he was a little bit off that night, but that's part of it. That's part of being a goalie. You're going to have off nights, and you'll love knowing that our goaltenders, and Cooley's done this as well, respond from a game that they maybe weren't their best with coming out and giving a really strong performance.
The other player you talked about last week a little bit, Rochester, you said that you think his last few games have been really elite. What has he been doing right?
Well, Lukasz is always going to make plays. He's an incredibly smart hockey player. He's got a really good offensive mind, and he's going to see plays. He's going to make plays. So that the playmaking in him is always going to be there. What we want to see continue to grow, and what has been really good of late, is just how competitive he's been on the puck. And for him to be dominant at this level and then to also stick at the NHL level, it's going to need to be those things. He's going to need to be a puck hunter. He's going to need to be a forechecker. He's going to need to be a disruptor with his energy and his competitiveness. Because at the NHL level, he's likely in the bottom or middle 6, not in the top 6. And guys that are in more your bottom 6, as smart as they are offensively, and you need to contribute offensively, you need players to be on the penalty kill, to forecheck, to hunt pucks, to do those types of things. He's just been incredibly demanding to play against over these last couple weeks. It's a really good sign for our team, but more importantly, it's a great sign for his career.
I don't know if you can easily explain this or not, but like what you just said about him, and a lot of guys do this, where they go from being a top 6 player in the American League to a bottom 6 to call up to the NHL. How can you, get them to harness that role when they're used to being an elite go-to player in this league, but they have to do things a little differently at the next step?
Well, that's why we work on those things with all of our players. That's why we practice that way. That's why we emphasize angling and getting contact on people. Everybody's going to get contact differently. Like Isak Roseanne's become a very physically committed player. He's going to cut your hands off more with his angles and his stick positioning and his body positioning, where Brett Murray might run you over, right? So there's different ways to be physically engaged, but we teach all of our players those things because those are the things that get you to stick. Like nobody's taking Tage Thompson's job. Like that's not up for being taken. It's Tage Thompson likely is going to have that job for the next decade for the Buffalo Sabres. Rasmus Dahlin's going to have his job for the next 15 years. And so those jobs in the NHL don't come open. And these are things that we work on with our guys. We talk to our guys about all the time. I talked to our guys when I was at the NTDP about this, even at the U.S. national program. Like most of those guys aren't going to walk in, some are, and be top line forwards or top pair defensemen. And so the other guys to stick, you have to be good at the hard things in the sport and the detailed things. And if you're not, you don't get to show how talented you are.
I want to ask you about defense. You touched on a little bit there because last week you talked how you're just used to not having consistency in the lineup because guys are out, injured, call up, etc. But throughout this season, Kale Clay, Bradley Stillman, they've been together as a leader pretty much all year long. So what have you seen in them that's kind of earned them that trust?
I think that they're both growing their game, and that sounds funny because they're 25-year-olds, so they're in that middle tier of age. But they've had a lot of time up in the NHL. And we've talked about this. A lot of times when you're in the NHL as a 6, 7, 8, you're just trying to hang in there and survive in the league. And now they're growing their game. Clegg made the league by being a puck-moving type of offensive young defenseman, and now his defensive game is really growing. How much time and space he takes away from his opponents, how well he's defending, how hard he's defending. And then Stillman's growing his offensive side of his game. He's breaking the puck out better, he's transitioning better, he's making more plays on the attack. And so they're kind of meshing in that regard. Clegg's becoming a better defender. Stiller's becoming better with the puck, and they have a good chemistry. They balance each other well. They like playing together. I think that the game on Saturday, Stillman and Kozak are as big a reason as anybody, if not the biggest reasons we won that game. We had a really good first period on the road. They score a goal, and that's one of those teetering points, especially when you're on the road the day before break. You can get pushed out of the game in games like this. And the next shift, Stillman absolutely train wrecked Robert, and then Stevens came and challenged him, and they fought. And it was just a great message to his teammates, like that we're not going away tonight. And that's what physicality and those things do. And, and I think a lot of our guys came to play that night, but if anybody didn't, if anybody was, it's 3 and 4, it's Christmas break coming, like things like that pull guys into the fight. I thought that was Stillman's best game of the year on Saturday. And then with Kozak had 4 block shots that were just spectacular. And we talk about the goals, and you're going to talk about Byro's overtime goal and all that stuff, but without Kozak's blocked shots, we probably don't get to overtime. And so I thought Kozak and Stillman were just 2 great examples of the physical side of the sport and doing the dirty things and how it helps your team win.
The only thing I've left for you is I want to bring up your belief because last week you said probably would get a leadership opportunity with Czechia. Was announced Christmas Day. He's the captain for that team. How special do you think that is for him?
Yeah, I was excited to see that. I texted him, congratulating him on that. And then, it's great. They had a poor first game. And so the leadership test will be immediate, and I liked his interview. He was angry and talked about the poor penalties they took. And just thought that showed, that he's maturing as a player, and he wasn't talking about their lack of offense. He was talking about the poor penalties that they were taking, putting them in bad team position. And now they're back at it today, and now he gets to he needs to be the tone setter now today for the Czech, after a poor performance against a big rival. And that's the good thing of the pressure of leadership. Those are things that, the Byros and the Murrays and the Mershes and the Prows and guys like that get to do here for us. Well, and now Yuri's starting to do that here for us because he's such a go-to guy. But this is a great opportunity for him to grow in his leadership skills with how he responds and how he helps drive that team today.
You got that hit by Stone. That's what I've seen in a long time, man. Anyway, Easter family for you. It wasn't too long ago, a couple of games ago, you were trying to figure out who you're going to have in the lineup. Now you got all these decisions. Are you some players, are you platooning them?
No. I think that, a couple weeks ago, I didn't love how we were playing, and I challenged the guys that, that guys need to earn their lineup spots. It's a balance in the American League. As a coach that you need to play your young prospects a lot. But there's also times that guys need to earn their minutes and their spots. And a couple, 2-3 weeks ago when the team wasn't playing with maybe enough vigor, that's one of those times. So, there's always a balance. You always have to take in, what's my responsibility to our organization in terms of developing prospects. So that always plays a part of the decision-making in your lineups. But right now you're also playing guys that are playing with the most competitive spirit, because that's something that is growing in our team right now, but we need to continue to grow and reward that. If we want to become a team that can challenge at the important times of the year.
Everything's just game by game basis then.
Coaches always have plans, I also think that you're at that time of the year that, some of the younger guys, like playing 3 and 4 might be a detriment, and those are things we need to sort out and feel which guys that might be. And, playing a back end of a 3 and 4 sometimes is just survival. And are you better off with some young guys or some physically underdeveloped guys? Are those guys better off having a training day and a lifting day and working on some things on the ice that are a deficiency versus just trying to survive a game that night? So you're trying to balance all that. You're trying to balance prospect development, numbers, call up guys, winning, all of that together when you're piecing the lineup together. So some of it's planned out, some of it is more game to game, how players are performing.